you're watching this, you probably struggle with making quality content consistently. Now, most brands struggle with this at some point. When they want to level up, they face a classic dilemma. How do you create the quality content your brand deserves without breaking the bank? And that's exactly what I want to talk about today, and how CoHo is solving that and innovating so that more brands have this access. So let's just jump into it. I'm Patrick Bates. I am the founder of CoHo and 4V Films. I have about 10 years of global experience filming across the Middle East, United Kingdom, and now Scandinavia, based in Copenhagen. And I've worked with some of the world's biggest brands, from Audi, Carlsberg, Pandora, all the way down to your smallest startups. And over these years, one thing that really stands out to me, it's never been harder for a brand to stand out and make an impact online. So just imagine for a second, your online presence is the shop window into your business. When your potential customers are researching and looking into different options, they look at your social media, they look at your website. So first impressions are really important. And every brand's goal should be creating this digital impact where you're known, liked, trusted online. But that also means that content is king. But why is a digital impact so important? 96% of people consider brands with quality content online more trustworthy. That's huge. That's insane. And if you're a brand that's really neglecting the quality content, this should really speak to you. 82% of investors want the companies that they invest in to have a really strong brand. And 74% of people grow loyal to a brand after consuming their content. This is basically clear indicators of why a digital impact should be the absolute number one goal, alongside getting sales and building the right team for a brand. The brands that have a digital impact and grow much quicker, from the startups all the way to your large corporations, are the brands that do these 5 pillars. So number one, you have to have a solid strategy. So you need to know exactly who you're talking to. What does your ideal customer want to hear, see? What would be relatable for them? If you don't understand who you're talking to and you go straight into making content, you risk wasting time and money and resources, because it's not going to have the impact that you want it to have, simply because you skipped this pillar. The second pillar is creating value in your content. So obviously entertaining, educating, and ultimately really addressing that you know your audience. And it also means that when you're booking your shoots, it needs to ensure that you have a purpose with the content. What's it going to achieve? And everyone needs to be aligned on that. And if you can do all of that, you're creating value. Now, the third pillar is creating quality content. Pretty obvious, but that comes down to studio, your equipment, your crew that you use, the techniques that they're using. All of that comes together to create a real high quality asset that ultimately just stands out online. Then you've got the fourth pillar, which is consistency. Now, consistency is obviously where most brands struggle with. I believe that any brand can put 20,000 kroner into a video. How often can they do it? How consistent can they be? And this is a key component. It's literally like going to the gym, getting the reps in. The same thing has to be done with your online presence and building an audience. Now, the final pillar is community. Community is all about network. It's about partnerships. It's about cross-collaboration in content, but also in a physical world where you're actually meeting with people, finding potential partners. This all ties together to actually getting more reach and being seen by more people. So what stops a brand from achieving this digital impact? Well, ultimately, it comes down to being too expensive, too time-consuming, or too overwhelming to actually achieve for most brands. If you look at the average rates in Copenhagen, if you're having to do a basic shoot, either B2C or B2B, you need to hire, let's say, a videographer, a photographer, you need to rent a studio, you need to rent equipment, you need to have the videos and photos edited. All of that comes together to create an average cost of around 43,000 kroner. And this is based on the average market pricing and also what we have been charging as an agency before. Now, this is just for one shoot. You can very quickly see, as a brand that needs to shoot more regularly, this becomes very expensive. So then you see brands shift to doing things in-house because they think it will be cheaper. But then what they don't know is they spend time on figuring out the best ideas, the perfect lighting, the creative shots, the camera settings, most engaging editing format. All of this compounds to wasted time that you're losing in salaries at the end of the month, but also a lack of focus that your core players in the team could really move the needle in the business. They shouldn't have to figure out something they're not an expert in. And so the result of this, the brands that don't have a digital impact, they fall behind, they aren't seen as the go-to brand in the market, your content doesn't perform well enough, and you just don't grow fast enough. So how can we actually make a digital impact accessible? That's the big question mark. And for us, the solution is through CoHo and the memberships that we're providing. We want more brands to achieve a digital impact and therefore grow much faster. That's our only mission. A brand joins CoHo, they pay one flat fee, and they get a whole year of unlimited access to everything that's usually very expensive and hard to access. So the videographers, the photographers, the studios, the equipment, everything in one place, so that you can suddenly make more quality content that your brand deserves. That's the idea, and so far we've had over 50 brands use our concept and 30 active members right now, as of today, making much more quality content than they had before. So within a membership, you get access to an expert team from creative videographers, photographers, editors. You get access to these dynamic studios we have in Copenhagen. We have all the best industry-leading equipment that you can find. We provide a content strategy upon joining. You get access to our community, our events, and our online network. And you get access to our membership portal, which makes booking shoots so much easier. So everything from videos, photos, podcast content, you name it, we can do it here at the studios. And there's a few things that make us very different to your standard content agency or production house. So we're the first in the Nordics to offer unlimited access, which really just encourages consistency over the year. You pay one flat fee for the year and you can book as much as you want. So you don't have to start thinking, oh, what's that shoot next week gonna cost me? There's no more of that. We have everything in one place, so we're a full solution from the best videographers, photographers, editors, studios, equipment, everything is in one place, centralized. You get 1 year of access, which really makes you more accountable to making more content. And finally, you also own the raw files so that you have the ultimate flexibility down the road. So I'm sat here right now in our studios and we can do so many different things, from living room setups. We have over 20 different backdrops to play with. We have a kitchen, we have a garden, we have a podcast room. And with so many different options, we can really craft what you're looking for in your content. And so here's just some of our members' content you can see. So everything from pack shots to creative campaigns to video commercials to podcasts. Literally, we have done so many different types of shoots here. You'd be really surprised what's possible within one studio. So what are some of our member results? One of our members, Scandinavian Biolabs, they are within the health and beauty industry. So they doubled their monthly recurring revenue from 5 million kroner to 10 million kroner within just 6 months of joining. And on top of that, they actually secured 4 million euros in funding during that 6 months too. So they've scaled massively since joining us. And they made everything from pack shots, creative campaigns, different ads, live webinars. They have been making so much content and it's become so much easier for them now. We've got Kintobi. They are a fashion brand making these lovely bags. And within just 2 shoots, they saw their return on ad spend increase by 300%. And on top of that, they've created new inbound opportunities. They have, for example, global distributors starting to reach out to them. And for a startup like theirs, this is huge. This is absolutely great. And this is all because of the quality content that they are putting out to the world. We want our members to have a really lovely time when they come to the studios, and that we want them to leave with a smile on their face as they walk out the door. And that's why we value this element of experience. And after every shoot, we send our members a survey asking what would they rate us today out of 10 based on their experience with the crew, with the studios, with the quality of content we've just created. And we've now asked over 50 brands, and the result has been 9.5 out of 10. And so for us, this just speaks into our values that we're here to create a partnership, a long-term collaboration. It's not transactional, it is very personal to us. So if you're thinking about increasing the quality of your content, finding a new partner that really understands your brand and is in it for the long run, maybe you're tired of trying to make the content yourself in-house, then CoHo might be for you. You can become a member and join over 30 of Denmark's most ambitious brands. However, we do have a limited capacity and we only take on 2 to 3 members each month. Simply click the link on this page and we'll get in touch. And if we feel like there's a fit after speaking with you, we'll then invite you for a tour at the studios over a coffee or a tea, and we'll really get to know each other and see what membership package would make most sense for your brand and needs. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the studios.